Yeah.
Hey, hello, welcome to another edition of the Master Channel. CX the producer and DJ Y Body presents. Yeah, that's right. Back for another week. CX, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, brother? We got an incredible guest today. My man.
No doubt.
Man. All the way from Japan. I'll let you give the introduction, Wild Body, because you have the radio.
Our first guest, he's from every damn where, man. Now currently in Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, known this guy for a while. Super talented. This dude does any genre you want to think of. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the Master Channel, Fat Von Free.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's happening, man?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, Vaughn?
Another day.
No doubt,
Waking
no
up
doubt.
and working, man.
How's the weather out there, man?
It's pretty mild. It hasn't gotten too brutal hot yet.
All right.
We get a few flashes of humidity here and there, but it's about to get done.
Man, that's what's up. I also like calling him MacGyver of this music thing here, man. This guy, I mean, you said, you know, some of the methods he just came up with as far as creating music, man. There's no limitation. There's no ceiling there, man. We're here, me, CX the producer. We're gonna, you know, like you said last time, we're gonna have a conversation. I like to first start out. Tell us how you got into music production, man. Tell us where it all began.
When I was in the Air Force, growing up, you know, my mom wouldn't buy me no instruments. We just all sang in church and stuff. And you know how black women are, man. I ain't about to buy you something to play with it for 5 minutes and just throw it away and put it in the corner. So once I got in the Air Force, I was around people that were playing music instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got into it that way. Started playing in bands and stuff like that. And eventually, fast forward, you know, 10, 15 years into playing music, I started playing a lot of bass for people that were recording hip hop and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd always listen to hip hop, but not on a deep level. So when I started making it, I had to really go back and really listen to hip hop.
Right.
So that's what kind of circled it all back around. And being from the weird black classic rock, blues, country background, hip hop is the only thing that I can do where I can blend all those genres and nobody questions it. So
Right,
that's why
right.
I love hip hop so much.
No doubt. Well,
Let me ask you, what's your favorite instrument?
Favorite instrument is gonna be bass guitar. That's what I started with, and that's always my go-to.
Gotcha.
Definitely my go-to.
Well, how many instruments can you play?
good question.
I play bass guitar, lead guitar. I play piano. Not where I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play this Carole King song for you real quick or nothing like that. But I can write. I do write on the piano, and I've been playing drums a lot since I've been out here in Japan. So
Dope.
I've been incorporating live drums into some stuff now.
Dope. What you prefer, the 5-string or the 4-string bass?
4-string, 4-string, flatline strings, Fender P bass, always.
Why the
But
4?
I do like 5 and 6 strings though, because you can do some incredible stuff.
Right.
But as far as just me playing and what's like my go-to is just a 4-string bass.
Dope.
Right. Now, let me say this. We're gonna get into this a little later too, because I really want to know what's in your signature.
Oh, okay.
Describe your signature.
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Yeah, you know there ain't no secrets to me, man. I don't. Yeah, there ain't no
Yeah.
secrets. There ain't no secrets. I don't play that.
I mean, for those who don't know, you know, for those who are sample-based hip-hop producers, such as all of us, Vaughn is an incredible dude, and I'm not saying that because that's my homeboy, that's my man. I'm saying this because you get some musicians who say they don't sample, and when you hear their music, it sounds like they just played something.
Yep.
But the way Vaughn does it where it's samples. And it's numerous times where I had to literally ask him, is that a sample?
Right.
You
It
know,
means a lot coming from you, man. It means so much coming from you, dog. You don't even know, man.
and a lot of people don't know that on my first album, the Abstract Key Groups, one of the driving, I think it was Driving Roads.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I actually got those road sounds from Fat Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah, I got them from him. But let me ask you something, Vaughn. What's your current gear list or what you're using right now?
Mainly for 90% of everything I'm doing, it's Ableton 10 with the Push 2 and the Mpc 4000 for drums, because that is still I've always considered drums my weak point. So I always make sure the thing I've been doing is waking up every morning and making the drum beat and all the percussions and then bouncing it into Ableton and then just going to work.
Wow.
Just to make sure that I'm getting better with drums, because I'm a lot better than what I used to be, but I always keep those beats that I had, those old beats that had just the same simple drum loop, but my bass guitar and lead guitar was turned way up to mask it. So that's why the MPC is always going to be integral to have. Even though I don't need it, I can use Push, but the MPC makes me look at this small screen and don't go for bells and whistles, make your drums knock out of that into Ableton. So
no doubt. What are your thoughts? Not your thoughts. Do you use a lot of plugins?
Yeah, of course.
What are some of your go-to that stand out with must have when you set up your signal chain?
So must have, we'll say Volf. Must have. Not too much. I don't compress too much anymore.
Gotcha.
Going into the first part of it, but I'll go Volf into RC20, and RC20. I'm only using that just for a little bit of noise and distortion, actually, on the master bus. You know, you're not supposed to do that according to the bloggers, but
really?
So for a little distortion, and also a powerful thing that ties. So Volf compressor, then RC20. In RC20 from left to right, I have the noise on, I have the distortion on, mix it about 50%, and then I'll go to space, which is a reverb on RC20, and then I high pass that reverb to where it's only affecting reverb from about 3,000 hertz and up.
Right.
So that ties everything together. Every noise that comes through that master chain is gonna be tied together with that. After the RC20, I'll put on some type of soft limiting. After that, after that, the Waves J37 tape plugin, and that's just so I can get a slapback delay on stuff that I high passed up to about 5K. That way, like my percussions and stuff will have a little bit of airiness, a little bit of room to them. Yeah. And then I put Slate Digital's virtual mix rack. In the virtual mix rack, I'll have a FG73. Oh yeah. I do believe preamp. Yep. I have that to where it's barely even. You can't even really tell it's lighting off. Wow. Right? So I have that on. Then I have trimmer on. The powerful thing about trimmer is it helps me keep my dynamic range and everything. So I'll bring trimmer back. Then I'll put shimmer on there. Bring a little bit of my highs up to make sure that the percussion's still tweaking, doing everything it needs to be so people can hear it. And if I need to, throw another trimmer on after that, but I don't need to usually. Then I use the one EQ that's black and white on there. I keep forgetting the name of it. But I use that to give me a 60 hertz
the lift boost. The lift or
not the lift. It's the one that looks like the lift, but it's a full EQ.
Gotcha.
But I'll get a 60 hertz bump. I'll cut between 400 and 600. I'll boost it 12K and I'll boost it 10K.
10 and 12.
And after that, if I need to do anything else, that's when I'll use the lift or the earth on there. But usually it's fine by that. And also too, another big thing on the I gotta go back to the RC20. People overlook the EQ on the RC20. If you look at the bottom of it, there's a high pass with a notch. Now I have drum rack 9 kicks that I use, right? I'll use just one of those kicks, but they're all around the same fundamental frequency. What I'll do is I'll roll that high pass bump. It stays at 50 hertz. So every time I turn on RC20, the fundamental frequency is cut all the way. It cuts all the lows out of the whole mix up to about 45 hertz, and I get a bump at 50 hertz. So the kick's always gonna be knocking.
Damn.
Every time.
So
now, with that being said, people are gonna be like, "That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff." But what they don't understand is, I came from studios. And if you go into a studio, if you just think of a console, think people, if they break down a studio console and they just understand the signal flow of a console, they'll understand why when you plug in the input one, by the time it gets to the master channel on that one bus, it's hit a lot of stuff.
Right.
yeah,
It's hit EQs, it's hit compressors, it's hit EQ back to compressors again, and that's before they ran it to tape back then.
yeah. Or if they actually had some inserts in the board as well,
man.
to the outboard gear.
And that's a whole nother animal too. Hell yeah.
Now let me ask you something. Do you believe in saving presets, those signal chain presets?
Question.
Yeah. Once you have a certain thing going and you really dig it, you should save it. You should save it. Because when I open up Ableton right now, it's all ready to go. All I gotta do is start making the beat. My drums are loaded, all my Foley's loaded, and the only thing I do is swap out some of my like field recordings and stuff. But I always have my same kicks ready, my hats are ready. Then there's another channel for, so I got my kick, and I got an empty sample channel. I have my hi-hats ready. I have my field recording loops ready for my iPad. And then I have a bass channel, a guitar channel, and then I have a return channel with OTT.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that OTT. Yeah, OTT is if you go into your Ableton, it's under oh my god. It's under the multi-band compressor. Ableton Stockholm. Yeah, it's the OTT preset in there. So I got that on the return. It's high passed up to about 500. I turn off the lows on the OTT completely, and then I put a stereo pedal on there, and that I send my sample to that, and that keeps my sample nice and shimmery and high in stereo.
Mm-hmm.
But I turn that off when I shoot out of anything that I'm going to put on Instagram, because I got to make sure the mono's straight, because Instagram's only mono. Yeah,
that's right, because Instagram does something to you.
All it does is put it in mono, man. It took me a while to figure that out, because I had this cool video and it was just trash. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? And I found out they summoned all the mono.
Yeah. Now let me ask you something. I remember, seeing you.
Sorry for rambling too much.
That's all good.
This is what this show is about. I mean, I hope everybody
Absolutely.
picked up what he said. But I remember seeing you, seeing your method to your madness. How you would actually record the tape, then go back off a tape, back into the DAW, then back out the DAW, back to tape. It's like you would dirty up the tape by re-recording over much, then send it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Explain that method for us.
Yeah, so I got, people always talk about like Wow and Flutter and stuff like that. I didn't understand. I thought Wow and Flutter for the longest time. This is a long time ago, because I started recording with a Tascam Porter Studio back when I was just doing the band thing. I thought that was always coming from just having crappy tapes. So I kind of liked that. I didn't realize it was the machines. Some of the machines were doing this stuff.
Right.
So what I do is I got a tape. It finally broke like 2 months ago, but for the last like 7 years, I would just run audio to that tape over and over and over, and it's just completely trashed. So certain tape decks I got, like this Tascam 133, is broke and it only shoots out mono, but it does this amazing stuff that's kind of warbly, right?
Right.
So I'll send stuff to it and then bring it back and kind of have that running in parallel with the original. So instead of just sitting like a return bus and doing that whole kind of parallel distortion, parallel whatever you want to do, I use the tape for that. And also tape helps glue it together. I know it sounds cliche. Oh, it really does sound cliche.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some stuff, man, if I tell people all the time, just take a percussion loop and put a dry ass snare on it. Or take a dry percussion loop with a reverby snare and run that through tape a few times, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's weird talking about stuff like this because I get comments on Instagram all the time and on YouTube. Like, can't you just do this in a DAW? Yeah, you can. But I like having fun. I can't, it's enjoying the process.
Do you actually? I'm sorry, I cut you off, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Do you actually think that you could get that off in the DAW? I mean, the sound.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Because so many people see stuff that I have, and I'll get comments like, "Man, it's so refreshing to hear you playing a tube guitar amp." Because these kids these days don't know that this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, cool, man.
Right.
This is guitar rig, but I'm not gonna tell you that because I don't feel like arguing with you. Like it doesn't matter. Like, to me, like, I can have a $300 laptop and I can make the same music with just Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
What's the deal with the SP? You using 555 or?
So yeah, I got a 555. I got a 404, and I got an 808.
Okay. And
the 555, I love because the loopback feature. Man, I can build a song quick in the 505, or excuse me, the 555. So you just build it in this little section and you just bounce it over to a pad. So, and what I love about it too is I have a pedal board connected to it.
Oh.
So at any time, like right now, like say we're working on a track, all I gotta do is hit the drop down menu in Ableton, go external out to 4, and that goes straight to my pedal board into my 555.
Damn.
And then once that's done, I just hit play on my 555. 555 is going back in the track, going into stereo 5 and 6 on the back of my Focusrite.
I grabbed I got an 808 a couple months ago, man. I really haven't used it except for just triggering music when I do the other, for the music and stuff.
To me, the 808 is the dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. The effects, kind of bass heavy-ish. A lot of the compressors and all that kind of stuff. But as far as making music and beats, that 808 ain't nothing to mess with, man. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because what people don't, I've seen people using them. I'm like, yo, you don't even realize, like, you can build a full song on this because it has a 4-track recorder in it.
Yep.
You can essentially turn the metronome on, tap out your drums, bounce that to the clipboard, go from the clipboard to the track. And this is all quickly too. It's not like a bunch of menu diving.
I'm listening.
You get it on that. You get it inside that 4-track. You can trim it. You won't be looking at the waveform. You'll be looking like a, you remember what FL Studio has or any MIDI blocks?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. That's what it looks like. Your information looks like that. So you can trim that to a perfect 4-bar, 8-bar, 16-bar loop. Hit enter, do whatever, and you can quadruple that. Say you make a 16-bar loop with drums and the bass. You can bounce that to your clipboard and back to one pad. You can keep doing that.
Wow.
The SP808 is one of the most powerful SPs out there, but it's overlooked because it ain't got vinyl sim that's really good on it.
Okay.
Right.
Dope. And good to hear, man. I've been
dying. It takes a while with me. It took me a while to click with it because I'm SP555, SP404, and they're kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
And with the SP404, I can make beats on that real fast. So it was just a learning curve. I just got frustrated with 808 and come back to it the next day. I just kept getting frustrated with it, come back, and then finally it clicked. And I'm like, cool, I got it.
Hey, before I'm gonna ask you this question. I just thought of this a couple of weeks ago. I forget who puts the link. I seen a link where one of these young producers is going to Splice and basically making hit songs on the radio from just taking Splice and throwing it in FL Studio and calling it, I guess, their culture, man. What are your thoughts on that, man? Is that cool in your eyes, or? Because I got a problem with it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I just think this.
So Splice, man, I didn't know what it was until who was talking about that? Somebody on Instagram was talking about it. Did a video. I was like, oh, let me look at this, and I was like, dude, holy hell, man.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about some of that stuff on Splice too? It's like already like mixed. It's got a little bit of headroom in it, but it's like ready to go.
Yep.
But I mean, if that's, I don't know, man. It's weird because everybody that listens to this or even you two, I think you would have to on one side of your brain, you got to be like, that ain't cool. But on the other side of your brain, you got to kind of be like, well, that's kind of cool. Because imagine if somebody approached you and said, hey, I need you to put some good, I need about 40 guitar loops. Right. And we're going to sell them on Splice. Like the last time I had a dude play guitar, it wasn't even as good as your stuff, or as good as his stuff wasn't as good as your stuff. Mm-hmm. So I know we're going to outsell that. This dude he's making about $3,000 a month. So, you know,
right.
And you know, with me, I play guitar every day, no matter what. I wake up, play guitar, make a drum beat, go to work. So it's a good and bad thing, but I mean, it's kind of weird, man, because you got that same thing too. Is that same person? If you call them out on that, they might call you out on sampling.
Yeah.
Well, all you doing is taking the sample and looping it. Like we know, damn, you know, age-old argument.
Yeah.
We know we're not doing that. But yeah, man, I gotta say, not to sorry to be long-winded, man. But
good, man.
It is kind of weird. That it is weird.
I just go ahead, say sorry.
What do you think about it, Sticks?
I'll say it like this, right? I remember when Apple came out with Apple Loops. Mm-hmm. You remember when Apple and you know, for those Mac owners who own Logic, such as myself, that was part of.
How long they been around? Sorry to interrupt you.
They've been around since about 2000 and probably right after Apple brought Logic from eMagic, which probably was 2010.
Oh damn! I didn't know it was around that long. Shit.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah. And to be honest with you, those Apple loops are some high quality loops.
Hell yeah.
There's some high quality loops, and they're royalty free as well. Mm-hmm. I remember when Polo the Don took the Apple loops and made In the Club for Usher. Like he took literally.
Yeah,
that's right.
Remember that shit.
Yeah,
I remember you talking about that, CX. Yeah, that blows my mind. I forgot about that.
Dude was heated.
What were people saying about that? Because I wasn't making beats during that time. I don't think I was making beats.
It was weird because
it's like a preset he took.
Around that time, GarageBand was like kind of free on a Mac then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And those loops were like some of those Apple loops were for GarageBand as well. So you had a kid on YouTube who actually put the whole song together using the Apple loops.
Oh, and, exposed.
Yeah, so it was like, Polo the Don, I'm not knocking him. He got paid probably $300,000, $400,000 around that time, $500,000 for that track.
Yeah, it is crazy money.
And everybody was looking like, man, he didn't even do nothing. He just, because you know how it is in Logic and GarageBand. Any of these dogs, you drag and drop.
Yeah.
Dragging them onto the timeline. And, it's like, how can I explain it? It's a bad thing because it's like you don't have to really have no musical sense of nothing. I ain't talking about being a musician. I'm talking about just because everything is in key and tempo when those loops are indexed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just playing with Legos at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, if you got an ear for that doesn't sound right, or you just know the code, like, hey, this is G, so let me go to a C or go to a D, and then stuff like that. You're good. You can make a track.
I just, my thoughts on it is, it's got to a point where that's gonna be, his excuse was, well, I got the same thing he said, got put food on his table, and he has to get a whole bunch out so he can get placements. I just, if someone like, where I've been messing with the music thing for quite a while, it's, I don't know, I don't like it, but I mean, I would understand if that's your source of income and that's what you got to do. Take the integrity. I just feel like it just takes the integrity away a little bit. And they can say the sample thing, You know, I was talking to CX the other day. I got the live, took it to work with me, and at lunchtime, you know, I'm sitting there messing around with the beats. And one of my coworkers wanted to try, so I was like, all right, set them up. I even gave him the drum beat, got the drum beat worked out. So I said, there's your samples, man. Go at it. And you swear he lost all his coordination. It sounded horrible. So my point is, it's not. It looks easy, but it's not easy to sample, man. It's an art form.
For sure.
You know, even
man.
You got some people sampling that do understand the basics of sampling. That, you know, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You know, just certain. Then you have people like CX and like yourself that can like basically, man, just recreate shit, flip it all around and replay it and shit. It's not all about just going up the pads and going down the pads, man. There's a little bit more to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's another one I've seen people getting flack for now too. Is I think Dayson Simple.
Dayson said it a while ago.
You remember that video he posted? He had like the drawing of the pads. He's like, this is not chopping the sample. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was like, oh man. I was like, hey, everybody getting flack out here, man.
Right.
But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but you know, another thing too, I want to touch on, and I want you to speak on this too as well, Vaughn. I consider you a producer wholeheartedly, but I also consider you a sound designer. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say sound designer, because like literally I'm mystified when I hear, you know, because I don't get to see your Instagram post no more on Instagram. And like when I used to see them all the time and I see you doing something and I hear it, I'm like blown away, man. Like, because people don't understand that you can have a whole room full of gear and, you know, enough to recreate these samples and stuff like that. But it's a certain aspect, an edgy aspect to it that makes those samples, that make them sound like samples. Mm-hmm. And you know how to do that, you know, because because it's like, if this sample got a rose in it, right? So somebody would think they would just go to a rose patch on a hardware sample inside, like Lounge Lizard or something like that. And pull it, add it and think, okay, all right, that's what. No, it's a difference when you do it. You gotta dirty it up. I always believe in dirtying it up, and that's why I love your music so much, because you're like me. We like to dirty up. Even if we're sampling, we still dirty up the sample more.
And it's the only way to go. It's no such thing as clean hip hop, if you ask me. It's not.
No, that's what I mean. It was founded on.
Damn right.
You know, just my opinion is like, it was always, this is what it is. This is what it was, and to me, it's always gonna be. It's always gonna be sampling. Yeah. People talk about, well, the money is like, regardless of the money. I didn't start making music for money. Yeah. I started making it because it was like, damn, I feel amazing right now. This is like a high. I can't do drugs. I'm in the Air Force, but I get high on playing this music.
Damn right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
As far as blending samples and stuff too, man, I was talking about this with somebody before. They were always asking, like, how do you blend your guitar with the sample? I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's an ear thing. Because when I was learning a lot of songs, like when I was playing bass and guitar, I was playing bass and guitar along the records. Mm-hmm. So when I'm playing that, I was trying to blend in with just an amp. And the amp's just got EQ, and you got the way you play your hands, and you got the volume and stuff on there. So there's always been something in my brain trying to blend in with something. So I think that kind of helps too, but mixing, putting the reverbs and the distortions and stuff in the right places helps too.
It was always one thing. It was when, you know, one thing I respected about you, or I still do respect about you, is your love, your passion when you talk about music, man. You made me always want to make music, man, when you talked about it, because you talk with such a passion. You're so knowledgeable on it, and the inner workings of it, man. It's like the engineering of it. It's definitely refreshing, man. And I wish for these young producers that are coming up that got their, you know, copy of FL or whatever, man, or that pirated whatever, to, you know, approach it like that, man, because it's going to be a dying art, man, one day. We got to think about 10 or 15 years down the road, man, when we, you know, it's going to be just cut and paste, man. And it says, you know, I love this culture, man. I grew up, this culture raised me. So, I care a lot about it, man. Just want it done right. And there should be a
true. I understand that, especially like, and I tell people too, is it's a weird walk with me too, because like I still am new to hip hop, so I always make sure like when I'm doing it, I'm not like doing something fake, something that's not real. You know, it took me a while to navigate to a sound. I mean, shit, when I first started making beats, people was asking like, why you putting all that live shit on there? I was like, oh, let me start playing keyboard bass. That shit just wasn't driving with me. So, yeah, man.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it was some weird stuff.
I don't know, man, because it seems like you've been doing it for a while, from what I've heard. From what I heard, because you know, like when I've heard a lot of your stuff, and some of the stuff I've heard, it like I keep saying, it blows my mind, because like I am a sample scientist. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And some of the stuff, man, we're on a podcast, so some of the shit you're doing, man. So some of the stuff you're doing, man, like literally, like it blows my mind, because I don't know if that shit is a sample, especially when you start singing in that shit, man. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, hold up, man. Like it's crazy.
Seamless. It's like seamless, dog.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like what you do is how I be wanting my drums and my beats to sound sometimes. Like, you know how to over compress, but a good over compress.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Shit, man, when you dropped that first was it abstract abstract key groups, like that? Yeah, I was in the middle of doing a project. I stopped, and I'll never and so I got a beat that every time I hear it, I was like, you know, every project you got, you kind of know, like I know in my brain, every project I listen to, I'm like, oh yeah, this is when I started doing this. Oh, this is when I started experimenting with this. But there's one track on one project I put out, I think it was last year when I put it out, early last year, and I'm like, that is when CX's album dropped, and I didn't make shit for 3 weeks, and that was the first beat I made, and you can hear it in the snare, the way it snaps, and it just sounds, it doesn't sound completely different from what I'm doing, but you can tell, like, okay, something, I'll never forget that, because I heard your album and I was like, yo, this shit is so dusty, but everything's so crisp.
Right.
Shit, I need to start over.
No, I
never forget that. Yeah, I heard that and I was like, son of a bitch, I got to start over.
I got parts of that from you. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever,
like,
whatever,
seriously.
Okay.
I mean, it even made me experiment even more and started sampling myself, chopping my own beats up into, you know what I'm saying? Turn that into something else, just from, and then the visuals, you know, to speak on this, like Vaughn, for the audience out there, Vaughn was doing a lot of the anime stuff as well with his beats, and the shit meshed so well together that if I didn't know if I didn't know any better, I was thinking that the film company, whoever did this, did all this together, because the beat fit the videos of the anime he was doing. And he was doing that a while, you know what I'm saying? And you know, y'all need to check him out on Instagram, you know, when he's posting his videos, and on YouTube. We're gonna give you all the links and everything when the podcast's over later. But another thing, you know, like I remember when you got the 4000. I remember that. That's my favorite MPC. That's my favorite MPC of all.
I'm still falling in love with the 4000, man. I'm about to buy another one.
Yeah. And this guy customized his 4000. He customized 4000. Also, too, if y'all don't want to pay Ghost in the MPC or even Full Rat, I think Vaughn might be the one y'all might want to holler at, because he definitely can get you
especially if you need parts. If you need parts, man, just holler at me, because don't Don't pay $8 for a tack switch. Jesus. Jesus.
I remember one time he.
Now,
Right,
now, hold on real quick. Now, this other segment that we're supposed to do as well, that we done on the first podcast. I want to ask you, Vaughn. Me and Widebody came up with this quick request and something to think about. All right, you get one of your royalty checks.
Yeah.
And your royalty checks is one of your checks is $10,000, but that $10,000 is to be spent on equipment.
Yeah.
What's your list?
And I'm already making music at that point. Of course, I guess I got a check, so I wouldn't buy no equipment.
No, you have to.
You got to.
Oh, I got to?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Man, it's funny, people. I know I got a lot of stuff, but in my brain it's just like, if I got that, I just wouldn't need none. But I gotta buy something, so I'd buy a better microphone. I'm always searching for the right vocal mic, no matter what. I don't know what I would get though. Shit. Actually, I would get a Rode NT2, another one, but I would get it modded by somebody. A friend of mine, Gabe, in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get him to mod it to where when my vocals break up, it would actually give a little bit more, it would actually exaggerate it more. So that would cost me $350. Man, I'm a cheapskate. $10,000. All right, hey, here's a big one. Hey, 27-inch iMac, brand new. All the bells and whistles.
Man, come on,
So-
man. You try to take the whole budget, man.
Yeah, because you gotta think about it. I got all the guitars. I don't need nothing else like that. And I'll just get an interface. It'll be the computer and the interface. I spend a big chunk of that money on that.
So
I will keep the same crap monitors I got. I'll keep the same monitors I got, which are just Samsung Resolve 65As I've had for years. I'll get a big ass 27-inch iMac and a better interface. Probably Apollo.
Shit, I don't know. You might not have no money left over for that. Because the iMac.
The Apollo, the iMac is gonna be about 4,600. Yeah, 5. We'll say 5. And the Apollo's gonna be about 2,500.
Yep. Got enough for a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Yeah. And a 3-piece meal from Popeye. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like another thing too with that. Let's say somebody gives you $5,000 just to set up stuff. I'd buy a $200 Dell laptop, get Reaper on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy a $100 guitar. I would get the Focusrite 2i2, which is less than $100.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also get a Fender P-Bass, a Mexican one, off of Craigslist. They go from $40 to $100. I'll get some good cables, which is gonna run me about $80, and I'll be ready to go.
That's all you need.
Headphones, yeah, I'll get some headphones. I wouldn't even get monitors. I'll get headphones and use my iPad earbuds too to reference it. I made so much music on a $200 student Dell laptop. Every 2 years I'll get a new one because it would just burn up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn.
$10,000, man. That's a lot of money to get. Yeah, I would definitely just get a big ass iMac.
The point is, it doesn't cost a lot to make that magic, man. A lot of people think they gotta have state of the art shit.
Yeah, especially with Reaper, you can you can make beats all day in Reaper, man.
Yeah, I'm so mad I got away from Reaper, man, because I'm slowly getting back into the Reaper thing, man. But Reaper is such a powerful, affordable DAW.
Yeah, for real. And I only use it now just when I'm done with a project and I make regions and stuff and make it to where I'm doing my playlist for the album, trying to sequence the songs right and put it together.
Right.
So I just do everything in Ableton now. But I still miss Reaper. I miss comping and stuff like that Ableton doesn't have. I miss hotkeys, making up my own commands and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't do none of that in Ableton, but for the most part, it's still just Ableton all the way.
Because we say that Ableton is in the class by themselves. Can we go ahead and say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gonna catch some flack from the FL gang.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
But they're to me they're both dope. I think Ableton is leading the way, and so is FL. Man, they both are dope. Bang for your buck though, can't nobody mess with Logic Pro X though.
I can honestly say that. I mean, as
the horrible entry part is you got to have a Mac.
Yeah.
But other than that, that is unreal what you get with Logic Pro X.
Yeah, you get quality instruments.
Wow.
And, you know, the instruments inside there are high quality.
I've heard a lot of nice things about Logic.
The Rhodes, the synths, the drums. You get they got the drummer dude in there, the dudes, whatever. So you get live drums.
Let's talk about it. So, okay, we got Ableton, Logic, and we got FL. Who do we give the best effects to? Stock effects.
Oh boy.
I gotta give it. It's the effect wise.
Ableton.
I was ready to say Ableton because like stock effects, Ableton has.
Yeah.
What about synth?
But I will say on FL though, their multi-band compressor.
Yeah.
Preset bright on any one of my electric guitars is amazing.
Wow.
Just because I don't use a guitar pick. So when you play with your hands, it takes away some of the brightness, but that preset makes my guitar sing. And also Fruity's Shaper, I think is what it's called. It's the mid-side compressor.
Yeah.
That thing brings out the most amazing stereo-ness of my guitars. And Fruity Love Filter is gassed.
That's my jump. That's my jump. But I'm gonna give y'all a little secret.
I gotta say Ableton though. But go ahead.
I'm gonna give y'all a little secret. You know, my albums and all the beats you hear, Maximus is on my output. On my MPC. That's part of my template, Maximus.
Wow. Yeah, that's dope.
Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah. And that's a FL plugin.
Yeah, that's dope. That's what's up, man.
See, what about instruments, synths? Which one gets it?
Logic.
Logic? Okay.
Yeah, Logic is man. Damn, Logic's dope. That Alchemy to the mono synth. I mean, hell, they got the Rhodes to sound good too. Yeah, but I'll give it to Logic.
Even with Max for Live, with that option.
I got Max for Live also. It's dope, but wait a minute. Yeah, let me think about that. I'm about to say Max for Live because they got the poly. There's a few Max for Live synths that blew my mind. How easy they are, but how powerful they are to use. And I've been making a lot of original stuff with them, man. Because I'll just I'll play something on a push and then just export it. And then I'll put them in my iPad and run them through Tardigrade or Borderlands Granular.
Damn.
Bring that, and I'll do that. And so when I'm doing that at work, I'll say we got to go tow out a helicopter. I'll leave that thing running for 15, 20 minutes. Come back, I got a 20-minute sample I can chop up and put drums, bass, guitar, and sing over.
Dang.
I started doing that myself on with Sampler. And matter of fact, let's get into the iOS apps as well. What's on your iPad?
You messing with that stuff too, Wide Body? I remember I think you were talking about
a little bit. I need more. I got to get another iPad with more room on it. I'm just messing with the 16 gig right now. But I do.
Got you.
I'm messing around. I'll be triggering Studio One from it, and I got like some. I got Beatmaker 2.
I like Beatmaker 2 better than 3. 3 is dope. It's powerful, but y'all doing too much.
I'm using 3 right now. I actually made a beat. I made some beats in 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like with anything, I get it. This is frustrating. I shelf it. Come back to it. It's frustrating. Shelf it.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2 months later, something clicks, and I'm like, oh. Because my biggest thing with Beatmaker is it took me a while to. Whenever you slice a sample, I'm gonna send it to the pads.
Right.
Yeah.
And you send it to the pads, you're like, yo, I want to pitch this up a couple semitones. And it's like, I got to do each individual one.
Mm-hmm.
I found a workaround for that.
Me too.
Do tell.
Never sending it to the pads.
Never sent it to the pads? Okay.
You know what I would do? I actually, in 2, I actually emailed them about that. I said, y'all need a global edit, a global program edit.
See, I sent them that too. And they were like, well, do this and this and this. I'm like, That's stupid. But if you never chop it, which I don't do now, you'll always have it available on all the pads. It's just kind of weird.
But see, what I would do was I would take the tune and assign it to a macro. I would assign all the macros with the slice on it assign all the samples with a slice on it to the same macro as far as the tune.
Yeah.
So that way I could tune all of them down at once.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know how you import the sample into the pad, right? And then you immediately go to the slicer.
Yeah.
And you go to the slicer and you got all the different chops under there. Well, then I just leave it there. After I slice it, I don't even hit like export or none of that. So when you look on the left side, shows your pads. If you click on those 16 or 64 pads, underneath each of those 64 pads, you can have a sample with 64 chops.
Damn.
Or 128 I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I started looking at it as like how you would do in a drum rack. How in a drum rack you can put another drum rack, you can put another drum rack, you can put another drum rack on one pad. So it took me a while to figure that out, but once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Shit. I just hate touchscreens. I really do hate touchscreens for making beats.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off, but I'm actually gonna hook my Ozonic up to my iPad because it has more more knobs, more faders and everything.
Yeah.
So I can control everything from that.
He got me using my MIDI controller because I was just touch screening. I was like, man, now it's like a little different.
And on Key Studio. And then on Key Studio is what I got.
Oh, okay.
It's it hooks up with a Bluetooth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
So what I wish my only thing is I wish they could, because I'm a Google Drive guy. I'm not really in the Dropbox, but I got all the space on the Google Drive. I just wish it would communicate with Google Drive like it does Dropbox, so I could just throw samples from the house on there and then go to work and throw them on there and rock out. Oh,
you don't have audio share?
I was ready to say that.
I do have audio share. I do. You can use that with that?
So audio share, I had it too, right?
Wow.
And I was like, this is stupid. But I didn't understand how powerful audio share was.
It's powerful.
All right, check that out.
So as I'm sitting there and I got all those samples I made, see, I throw a bunch of percussion loops. You can actually sit there and resample stuff that you have loaded in audio share and put effects on it.
Wow.
In audio share. And then bounce it out right there. And audio share blew my mind. Continues to.
I usually with audio share, what I would do is I always told y'all I do put a lot of my stuff in Dropbox, my backups for my drives. You know what I'm saying? Just so I have an off-site backup. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do is I would actually go on my iPad and copy a folder from Dropbox full of drum loops, whatever, samples, everything, into audio share and just let it run all night and copy into that audio share. Because that's what it's actually doing, copying into that program, into one of its folders.
Damn.
So when I open up Beatmaker, Sampler, or even a Raw Pro, that's what I use too now as well, Raw Pro. So I usually have everything in audio share. So as though it's easy for me to bring those samples into different apps.
Right.
Because it's to the point now where I'm using a Raw Pro where I can actually full on hook the interface up and grab a mic and do a whole recording session.
Right.
Oh wow.
My only riff.
That's what's up.
That's my only riff. That's what's up. Is just being, of course I'm not gonna load my iPad down with sounds. I want to be an off-site where I can easily access them, and then rock out. But now y'all don't show me a workaround, so solves that problem. Thank you.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. But one of my favorite programs to use are Borderlands for granular synthesis, and Tardigrain, TARDIGRAIN. That is another. So you can load say you hit a guitar note, I send like a fuzz guitar note to it, just one note, and in there I can play keys.
Yeah,
that'll trick. Yeah, that it is. And you come up with some of the most gorgeous stuff, man. That's what I like about it. It's so gorgeous.
I did that today with Sampler.
Samplers. Sampler's a beast, man.
People.
Yeah, I took that one note and started playing. Because for the people that don't know, the granular synthesis is like taking one note and even Reason 10 has a granular synthesis.
Taking all a bunch of bits.
Yeah, it'll take it down to the granular level of like actually of a sample, like stretching it, like literally stretching it. It's a weird way of stretching a sample.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You get some weird effects out of it.
That's how I used to do a lot of my when I first got Ableton. I remember somebody's like, "You got to warp the beat." I was like, "All right, cool, man." So I hit warp, and everybody would go to Complex Pro, and I was listening to beats, and I was like, "Yo, this shit sound like the Mad Lib bass lines." So that's another thing too I like to do too now is if my bass line I think is stale, what I'll do is I'll just do a 16 or 32 bar solo, and I'll turn the metronome off, and I'll just sit there and just play solo and play stuff, and I'll play slow things or some real fast notes, and then I chop that, and I've got some crazy stuff, man. It still sounds like I'm playing it, but it's just like, dude, this dude, what the hell was he playing? So it's kind of dope. It's kind of dope to do that.
I think it's easier for me to warp in Ableton 10 because I couldn't warp for shit. I don't know if I got better at it or it's just did an acapella project, and this time it went like that. I lined everything up and almost effortlessly. So.
Yeah, I think I learned how to warp in Ableton because of RTO. He said there's some video of some dude yada yada yada, and I was like, what? So I watched the video, and the dude was like, yeah, man, you start with the hook and you find out where the downbeat what it is in the hook, and I was like, Jesus.
Right. Then
after I did that, I couldn't listen to all my old stuff I got acapellas, and I was just cringing. I'm like, oh hell no, man.
Right.
I never warped in Ableton.
Yeah. Oh man.
Damn.
Yeah,
See, I'll warp. Cause a lot of stuff is automatic, but sometimes I'll warp loops every now and then. So when I make my percussion loops for my drum loops, I'll loop those every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another CX feature I always use now too. I forgot to tell you about this. So I'm always making Mpc drums, and I'll put them inside. I put it inside Ableton. Well, if the kick's not hitting, I'll just high pass it with Golf or a Good Hertz tone control. I'll high pass it up to 250, 300 maybe. Extract the MIDI, and then you still use that kick. And then I'll take that same MIDI and I'll throw that in my hi-hats, and I'll throw it off into my Foley track, and it'll randomly just have this crazy percussion going on, and I'll tweak it from there with RC20 or Cuvert. Wow. So you can take just the one drum beat, its MIDI, and throw it wherever in any of my racks, and I got like the craziest percussion going on.
Jeez.
And then also, at the bottom of your tracks in Ableton, you got that delay compensation?
Yeah.
It's dragging that down to -50 instant swing.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's crazy. Yeah. And that's how I do a lot of my crazy percussion, man, because
wow.
CX, because I never really cared about that stuff. And then CX was like, yeah, extract MIDI information. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And I started doing it in Ableton. And also, too, if I got a part of my bass line that's simple, I'll extract the MIDI info from that one piece, send that to a synth, and send that to my Space Echo. So as I'm playing this bass, you'll hear something like I'll kind of quiet the drums out.
Yeah.
You'll hear the synth come up, but then it starts doing this Doppler effect, and that's what Curtis Mayfield used to do in all his records.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
man.
Okay.
Well,
wow.
I'm gonna tell you another trick I used to use in Ableton. If somebody like a friend of mine sent me this girl song, she sang.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know how to approach it. So by me not being a keyboard player, I got her vocals lined up right, tempo wise, everything, put it in there. And what I did was I hooked the mic up, and when she was singing the hook, I was singing the hook with her, and I turned the hook into MIDI. So the keys started playing with her voice.
That's dope. Yeah.
Damn.
That's dope. That's what's up, man.
Because you can hum a bass line or anything into Ableton.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy in the Discord, he was beatboxing, and I recorded it, and that's going on. He's going on the next project I'm about to put out. It's he's beatboxing the intro of it, and the whole thing is all my drums. After you can hear my drums kick in after he got done. But I left this beatbox in there, just high passed it. Yeah, that audio to MIDI joint is crazy.
It's
man.
vicious.
I use it all the time.
Vicious. Yeah, it's vicious.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
It don't work out. It don't work out too good on some busy stuff, but I love just really diving into the mix and being like, oh, right here, I can do the Curtis Mayfield thing right here, and just kind of get the Doppler effect going.
But if it don't work out, if it's too busy, what you could do is filter it and turn it into audio. Filter it to the part that you want it to extract.
Yeah. Okay.
And then turn it into audio, and then extract.
Jesus. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Dope. So you young producers out there that's listening, it's not all about just grabbing a copy of your favorite program and just cutting and pasting. There's a lot of work that could be the possibilities are endless. So it's take some notes. Definitely.
Yep. Wake up and just try to make something every day. It ain't got to be a full beat. Wake up and make a percussion loop, man.
No doubt. So
next thing, that's the biggest thing I learned. If I wake up and make a part of something every day, I'm gonna sit back and I'll be overwhelmed with music. And that's what I did. Been doing the last 3 weeks is just going back and finishing a bunch of stuff and just bouncing it out to Spotify.
Yeah, it's once you get into it, it's like a collection process.
Yeah,
you're collecting samples, even ones you're creating. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm to the point myself, whereas though I'm since I had this iPad, I've been sound designing. Shout out to Vaughn for that, and making my own samples.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making my own sample because granular synthesis is the key to everything. I'm telling you, like it's the key to everything. Like literally, with these apps, with these granular synthesis apps, you can take a sample that somebody would know and take a little jab out of it, and create something that's totally out of this world.
I seen Ski Beats do something like that with I think he was on Machine. He took the smallest piece, blew it up, and the rest was history.
Yeah,
right.
Especially once you get down to where you can arrange anything.
Right.
Like with me, it's just I need 2 4-bar loops. If I get 2 4-bar loops out of that sample, I'm gold. Because I'm gonna just get the intro, get the verse part, then I'm gonna drop something out and throw a guitar solo over it, and I'm gonna start bringing stuff back with granular synthesis or space echo. That's my trying to make my signature thing, because I did not realize it until like about right when I got my space echo that Curtis Mayfield used it a lot. And it was sometimes I thought it was a mistake on some of his stuff. Like, what the hell? Because it just came out real loud. I'm like, that is awesome. I need to steal that idea, because I don't know what they went space echo crazy, and I love it. So I've been trying to like do my own thing with that too.
Hey, could you name me your top 5 music inspirations?
Top 5. I'll say there's a dude named Alan Woody that's a bass player. And my background with bass and all that is Southern rock. In Southern rock, they play with a lot of they just play loud, so it sounded distorted, and it was very busy. They never played the same thing twice.
Right.
So I try to bring that element in hip hop. My bass has always got a overdrive or distortion in it, so that's a big influence. Let's see, Salaam Remi, The Alchemist, Curtis Mayfield, Lightning Hopkins, and I'll say Stevie Ray Vaughan, man.
Wow.
That's my biggest,
It's funny you say all that, right? Because I always, myself, always believe that a lot of our influences are not even in the same genre of music that we make.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy because a lot of my influences are jazz musicians. You know, the straight jazz and smooth jazz.
True.
Fusion jazz artists, you know.
Yeah. To me, one of my favorite jazz records of all time is always got to be Bitches Brew. A lot of people always say, lot of typical Miles joints or typical Coltrane joints, but Bitches Brew, man, it's got some crazy stuff on there. Like, go listen to, like, if you listen to CX's album, Abstract Key Groups, go listen to the mix also on Bitches Brew, and how crisp but still like low fidelity that was.
Yeah,
that blew my mind when I heard that. I was like, oh, damn it.
One thing about CX, the Abstract Key Groups, is the mix on there is just impeccable, man. From the rip, just the way he laid out everything.
Low fidelity with clarity, and that's man. That. When I heard that, I was like, oh, that's the magic.
Right.
It's still got the lo-fi stuff that I like, but it's clear.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I like I said, like learning from Vaughn. I learned a lot from everybody.
He learned shit from me.
Man, I learned a lot from you, man. Like, I listened to a lot of the stuff you were talking about, and your music influenced my sound. I always was with the gritty sound because that's what I always made because that's all I feel. That's what hip hop is. It's gritty.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's gritty. It's not supposed to be cleared and all excited up with a or flex exciter or something like that. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be grimy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. With a little bit of tiny clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And when just like with that album, I mean, I did it all in one day. You know what I'm saying? And
damn,
I did it all in one day.
Jesus, man.
One day.
Yeah, I love that album.
Yeah, that's definitely never be dated.
I need to put out the next one.
I need them samples.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got some for you.
Hey, Fat Von, so tell the audience how we can listen to your music, man.
Oh, it's Fat Von Free on Spotify. I put out 3 to 4 singles a week there. SoundCloud, it's Fat Free Productions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do 3 to 5 tracks on there, but those are just sketches from like the beat battles and stuff that I do every week.
Yeah,
like Stone's Throw, all that. Those end up on albums later, but those are just scratch pads.
Nice.
Fat Von Free at Bandcamp.com. I put out cassette releases like every 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Got one coming out soon, here in a few weeks. And it's Fat or Leroy 0053 on YouTube, but I just scaled back YouTube just because I'll put up the same stuff I put up on Instagram.
Okay.
My Instagram's Fat Von Free. Yeah, I stopped doing the YouTube thing. It just, I don't know.
I hear you, but I hear what you're saying about that though, because I kind of feel this. I like Instagram. Instagram is to the
Instagram,
point.
I seem to reach more people on there with the hashtags. There's a little SEO kind of stuff, but there's YouTube's got a whole nother SEO game, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to deal with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about your Twitter handle?
Oh, it's Fat Von Free. I use it, but I'm not. If you follow me on there, I'm not like talking much trash or nothing. I'll post up like, hey, I dropped a new the Spotify singles up, and then I might talk about some plugins and stuff. But I'm trying to use it more. But I really have a hard time just sitting there like, what should I be using Twitter for? That's my biggest thing. Like at one minute I'm like, because I see so much. I see people having mental meltdowns on there.
You see, no, ain't lying.
Just mentally, just people breaking and stuff on Twitter. So people always trash and stuff. These haters want to see me this. They want to. I'm like,
if I was a shrink, I'd get a lot of business from. I'd be on Twitter.
But I'd be on Twitter like crazy.
The reason why I said Twitter is because when you're uploading to Instagram, it actually gives you the share on Twitter. Yeah. As well, and that's just an avenue because none of us really are actually on Twitter going nuts with that shit, but we also reaching a different audience on Twitter as well.
Gotcha.
So
I'll start using that option. I'll start using that option more too.
What about Reddit? You still on Reddit?
Yeah, I'm on Reddit because that's where I do most of the beat battles. If you go to makinghiphop.com, wow. You go to the Making the Hip Hop subreddit.
All right.
They have a lo-fi flip LFF challenge. There is a OKC, which is one kit challenge, where they'll give a kit for you to download, and you have to use sound design and whatever to make a dope beat.
Wow.
Out of only what's in that kit. There's also the FTC called Flip This Challenge. I do that one too. They just give you a sample to flip, and the rules aren't too crazy. And then the Lo-Fi Hip Hop subreddit has a bi-weekly kind of flip, but I do that one too. And it's just always try to be doing something different. Just stay busy.
No doubt.
Wake up and work, you know.
Just want to say Converse rubber tracks. I'm still on that, and I didn't.
Converse, baby.
I masters. I didn't master. I had a hard drive full of like drums and shit, man. And you put me on the radio a while back, man.
Yeah, man.
I love that.
That is dope. That Converse rubber tracks, man. Them folks is,
only getting better too. Man, they got some good shit in there.
Well, Vaughn, man, you know, the whole thing about us doing this podcast was to bring people on here that we consider masters. That's why we call it a master channel.
I ain't no master, man. I'm still trying to learn, man.
Come on, man.
Hey,
but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You are to a serious degree, you know. And that's why we bring in people on here that we feel that are in that league, and you are in that league. And I'm glad I know you. And I'm glad
same thing, man.
Yeah, and that's why we
definitely feel mutual.
Right. That's why we reached out to you. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that we're gonna keep doing. I mean, in the future, we may have Ski Beats on here. We may have we may have Arsonists on here from the Heat Makers.
You talk about hearing stuff that made me want to be like, yo, I want to do that. That Smack DVD, when he made that beat, I was like, Lord, what is that? What the hell is that? What is he playing? What is that box with them gray pads on it?
Yeah, we may have my man Jason Myrax on here.
Oh, word, yeah.
Jay Myrax.
I was about to. I thought he had a different handle too, though. I know it's Jay Myrax. I thought he had a different handle.
All True
West.
All True West. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I like that dude. He's real positive. All
he is.
Yeah. And we also may have, a couple more. I got a friend of mine also, a close friend of mine, Amir Sahil. He actually did the remix for All These Kisses on the Robert Glasper joint for with King and Foreign Exchange. Yeah. And he also had placement for She's Gotta Have It on Netflix, Spike Lee joint.
That's what's up.
So if I can catch up.
Shout out to y'all on the CX didn't come to the party on that Nas joint.
Yeah, I didn't get in on that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I did.
What the hell you doing, man? That was dope. Top to bottom, that was dope.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for tonight. Like to thank Fat Von Free for coming through, sharing a couple of minutes with us. I am DJ Wide Body.
I'm CS the Producer.
And this is the Master Channel. Till next time, peace.
Peace.